Y'all already know what it is. Your boy Yaakov, what it do? The outlet to reality, the holdest podcast in Vegas and Chicago. What up? This is the place where you want to hide from your drama or maybe hide from your baby mama. Aha, just kidding. Y si tú quieres cambiar tu vida, if you want to change your life, then subscribe. Ching. And by the way, guys, I just published a book out on Amazon called Shabbat in Chicago. It's about an audacious single mom who opens her heart and home to five adopted kids while embracing her Latino culture while being Jewish. And also, I have it out on a documentary based on my book called Shabbat and Shy. In the Shy. Check it out on YouTube. And today we have a very special guest who is one of the biggest fighters in Powerslap. He has never lost, the one and only Vince. Yeah, what's up, brother?
I'm feeling good. I'm good. Doing good. How are you guys?
Oh man, we're doing good, brother. I'm so happy, to be on the show. I gotta be honest, you're probably the most I've had on the show next to Pono. Like you definitely been the top, one of my favorites. I gotta bring back the
I
favorites.
appreciate that.
And I gotta say, much love, much love. And it's crazy. Halloween was yesterday, and I still feel the spirit. I love Halloween. It's the time where people get to be silly. And it's crazy for anyone who wants to do YouTube. I always tell them this. October is when I have the most views, just
Oh,
because people like Chucky, so they like to be scared. You know what I'm saying? It's
yeah, it makes
perfect
sense.
timing.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're trying to do content, that's the best time to do it. I would say do twice, the morning and nighttime. Highly recommend. But I want to get into my boy, right? This is my brother, my friend. Can't wait when you're back in Vegas. Please tell us, right? You went to Abu Dhabi for the first time. Tell us that journey going there, the things you've done, and your adventures. Because I know you have stories, brother. I already know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, fair enough. It was a 14 and a half hour flight from Ontario, Canada. So it was definitely a long flight, direct flight. So luckily I didn't have any layovers or anything like that because, yeah, I couldn't imagine it any longer. But I mean, it was well worth it. Landing there, beautiful weather. I mean, the culture, the food, everything was phenomenal. Like I had no complaints whatsoever. Normally when I'm traveling around, you can get got rod and stuff like that. None at all. Like the only thing I had an issue with was the time difference with the jet lag. But I mean, that was to be expected. So we definitely prepared for that beforehand to make it a more accommodating for my changeover and adjusting to the jet lag and the time change. But yeah, man, it was awesome. We were in Yas Island, it was called, and we had like this Ferrari World. The mall there, the Yas Mall, was incredibly large, and I mean the architecture. I couldn't get over how beautiful the architecture is. It's nothing like I've ever seen anywhere on the earth so far, and it was absolutely incredible. Like even the airport. I like some of the videos and stuff I got where it's just phenomenal. Like it blows people away because it's like how much time and effort that you can clearly see that they put into it for all the little details and stuff that they do. It was absolutely like mind-boggling to me.
Wow, that's amazing. And tell us, who did you really get to hang out with during there? Like, was it just Blackburn, or it was like the other fighters, or just the coaches? Like, who was like with your circle when you guys were hanging out?
So I mean, I was hanging out with pretty much everybody. Honestly, we were all kind of training and doing things here and there. So, but I mean, I was definitely with like DeFrank, like Anthony DeFrank. I think he
Yeah,
calls himself the king, right? So
yeah, yeah.
I was, hanging out with him, hanging out with the coaches like Manny, and Brandon. A lot of training with them throughout the week, and then like pretty much a little bit of everybody though. Like even some of the newer guys we were hanging out and kind of getting to know them. Like I met the Indian group that was there, and his like the translator. They were hilarious. I had an absolute blast with them. And I mean, he's an up and coming star for sure. Like his performance it blew me away. I was sitting back there just enjoying like that whole performance that he had done. And yeah, no, there's a lot of good prospects coming up in the league, and a lot more challenges that are presenting themselves as the cards go on. But I'm excited, brother. I'm excited to get that 5-0, maybe even a title shot. We'll see what the future holds for me.
Yeah, I think it's about time, brother. Be honest, you've been putting so much work. You've, out of all the fighters, you have a record that it's unbelievable. Like just to not even have one loss, one draw, like that shows that this was meant for you, brother. This is your moment to shine. And just knowing you in person, you're like a very humble, funny guy, like a family person as well. I gotta give it to you, brother. You deserve this. This is your time to shine. Now, take us to your big fight, right? You went to fight, right? And I gotta be honest, I was cheering for you. I know I couldn't fly out there, brother. It's a long flight, you know. I didn't
No,
get
it
that.
is.
Yeah, yeah. I
It's
don't
not
have
cheap either.
that. And I don't have that connection like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of money, but I was there in spirit, man. I had it on my
I felt
screen.
that.
So I was there. I was watching it, and what a performance, brother. I gotta be honest, it was a beautiful moments, and your fight, hands down, was one of my favorites next to Blackburn and Cole. That was the two of my top of that fight. And well, Blackburn happened yesterday. Yours
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
the week before.
Week
So
prior, yeah.
right, private. So I would say yours was my favorite for last week, and then Blackburn and Cole for the Powerslap 17 yesterday. So you two have my top hands down favorite. Like just seeing it go back and forth, but brother, just to see you perform that fight was just amazing, brother. Can you share too, like what was going through your mind that time? You had a face, like I'm not gonna lie, it was like an angry, serious face, like the gladiator, We are sponsored. Like it was scary, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, I never saw
Yeah.
that Vince like that. But take us to that moment and after the fight, please, brother, please.
Yeah, so like, the lead up to the fight, me and Anthony, my opponent, we were hanging out quite a bit in the hotel, and we would go out for dinners, stuff like that, and he was talking some smack, like and it's like you said, like I'm a very humble person, I'm a humble till you rumble. When we get on stage, I'm gonna talk my crap, I'm gonna do my thing, and but like outside of Powerslap, I'm not like that. I'm not looking for conflict. I'm not, you know what I mean? I feel like it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war, right? So, I know my capabilities and I know what I'm capable of. I don't feel like I need to, you know, portray that to the world and be like, hey, I'm this big tough guy, where it's like, you know what I mean? I'm only 5'8" at the end of the day. There's men out there that could ragdoll me pretty easily, right? Even with my technique and training and all the rest of it. At the end of the day, and I just realized that. So it's, for me, it was, hanging out with him throughout the week and stuff. He had kind of not necessarily got underneath my skin, but he just lit that fire. He was dosing that gasoline on the fire a little bit. And I'm like, come when I get on that stage, I even said it. I'm like, the volcano's going to erupt, and that's exactly what happened, brother. I was locked in, I was dialed in, and I'm getting really good and really comfortable being on stage on when to, really use my adrenaline and work the crowd, and then when to, okay, now I need to bring it back down, calm, get focused, get ready to, slap that guy, and make sure my precision's on point, make sure I'm going through my checklist. How's my feet? How's my arm? Is my measure properly? Is he going to move on me? You know what I mean? So there's different obstacles in the moment that you have to kind of overcome, and you have to play. You have to have a game plan going into it. I feel like, and for that fight, my game plan was perfect. I knew exactly what he was going to do, and he hasn't changed things up since early Powerslap days. So it was just a matter of me outsmarting him, and I caught him on the button where I needed to put it, and it was lights out. But yeah,
Wow.
even after the fight, I made sure he was all right and made sure he was okay, because it's like I said, I'm not looking to hurt anybody or anything like that, but it is a part of the business. Like, we all know what we sign up for. We know the risk that's involved, and yeah, it's I got to do a job and provide for my family, and that's exactly what I plan on continuously doing here in Powerslap.
Whoa, that's amazing. And quick question, can I ask you something really interesting? So, like, you think that after the first fight, I got two questions actually. After this
Okay.
next upcoming fight, when you're back, It will be your sixth, right? If you win, or the fifth,
Fifth
fifth,
fight,
right?
fifth fight, yeah.
Fifth, right? Okay, I'm getting too excited. I'm thinking too ahead.
Too
So if you
far,
win
yeah.
your fifth one, I think then they should give you a title fight for sure. They have to. Hopefully the next one that'll be even better. If they give you the next one title fight, I'm there for it. I also want to say is, you know, having all these wins, right? You know, how does it work with Powerslap? Like, do they get to renew your contract for every time you win, or is it like you have to wait and then they'll
Uh,
renew it?
so I can't talk too much about the contract, but basically we get X amount of fights on our contract, or it's within like an X period, a length of time. So in the contract. But basically, I'm coming up pretty close to my renewal here, so we'll see what happens with all that stuff. I'm more focused on just getting the wins and solidifying myself, and to making my value go up, and obviously increase my stock so that obviously they will want to re-sign me. And but I'm not really too worried about that. But yeah, it's only like you get X amount of fights. So if you complete the fights before the time period that, or the time frame that's in the contract, then obviously I'm sure you can negotiate sooner. But I haven't really. It's like I said, I've been so focused on my performance and my dedication to my craft rather than worrying about the office stuff for right now. I know that'll come in time, but I definitely still have a few more fights to go through. So I'd much rather focus on that, get that fifth win, whether it is like that was the other thing is at 155. I was supposed to make weight at 155, but because of I had a couple injuries, I had a client drop a 40-pound dumbbell on my big toe. It was like it's black at this point. And so I couldn't train for almost a week. Like I was bedridden for 3 days because I couldn't put any weight on it. I thought I had fractured it. Luckily, we didn't. We just deep tissue bruise. So by day 4, I was hobbling around, but I wasn't walking normal until about a week, and then so it kind of it set me back a whole week and basically losing weight and stuff like that, right? So I should have made 155, and unfortunately, it just between that and a few other injuries I had, it just slowed me down, and I wasn't able to make 155. But I think if I would have made 155, I think I would have been more deserving of a title shot. But I'm more than willing to do a contender match down at 155. And yeah, and then obviously I think I would win that depending on who it is, but I can't see any lightweights that are in that contender spot really taking me on. And then Robert's definitely the biggest challenge. He's the dark horse of the division, and I would want nothing more than a war with him, because I think if anybody's going to like put him down, it's going to be me. But we'll see what happens. If the brass wants me to fight at 170, I'm happy fighting up there too. But yeah, we'll find out hopefully soon enough. I'm kind of itching to know myself where I kind of be, because right now I'm definitely on the lower side of the welterweight division, trying to keep that weight down in order to compete at 155, because I know that was kind of the original plan here. But with it was just unfortunate timing. Of course, it's always training camps that you get hurt and stuff like that. It's never when you're at a camp or whatever that you can afford to get hurt, more or less. But yeah, it is what it is.
Whoa, that's so cool. Yeah, I gotta be honest, Robert. Robert, I've hung out with him so many times, and he's cool people, real laid back, humble guy. He's a guy. If you go out with him, he won't drink. I haven't, he's very serious about his diet, like, because drinking does lower.
Oh,
It slows down your metabolism.
yeah,
Lot
and
of
increases your insulin. There's a lot of bad things with alcohol. I mean, it's not worth the high or the drunk that you get, whatever you want to call it, right? So
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of carbs, a lot of sodium. So to stay away, right? So I started to December, and now I lost 30 pounds, and I stopped drinking. I started not drinking since my birthday, August 10th. So thank you, brother. Thank you. So I'm keeping up. So I've been working out like 4 to 5 days a week, and it does make a difference, right? Not drinking, no soda, because soda's not good for your bones. So just to limit that, I feel like you feel better, you sleep better, your mind is more awake. Just to see two of my brothers go at it, I think that would be really cool. You know, see you and Robert, and brother, that would be huge, and for sure, brother.
It'd be fireworks for
Oh
sure.
yeah, oh yeah, hands down, hands down.
Like, well, who else in the lightweight division is going to give Rob a proper run for his money? Like honestly, like I can't see. I mean, Dakota had his shot. He put up 8 great rounds against him. You know, nothing against Dakota, but it just doesn't make sense to have him fight Robert again. You know what I mean? It just to bring in me or maybe one of these newer guys that are coming up in the lightweight division too. You know, maybe I could give them a shot and let them try and take the zero from me, but. I think experience is going to speak volumes in a matchup like that. So, I have no idea what the brass is planning, but I'm getting excited to find out. Hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah, for sure, brother. One thing too, if I could share, so there's this thing that is really cool. A lot of people don't know about this, but I'm gonna share with you because you're my brother. And I know your fans are gonna listen. That's okay. So when I used to study martial arts, right? I still do, like I teach now, but when I used to train back in Chicago, we used to learn it's called Iron Body, and Iron Body is an old tradition in martial arts, actually to prepare you for sparring or competing in fights. And my Sifu, my instructor, he taught me that they used to have little sandbags. They're kind of small, and we used to hit it, and we used to go boom, boom, boom,
Yep.
like hit it. And here's a really cool thing. So there's this Chinese liniment. It's like a kind of like a medicine. It's called Chinese liniment. There you go. And you put it on your hand after you do the hitting, right? And what happens is it actually pushes the blood, so it actually helps you recover more.
Yep.
And
For
it got to
conditioning.
the point where when you do break a concrete, like a anything concrete brick,
Right.
you hit it, you won't have pain because you've been so used to
Yeah,
training
conditioning.
your
Yeah.
conditioning. Thank you, bro. Thank you. I was
Yeah.
trying to get the word. It didn't want to come out. Thank you, bro. I knew
I
there was
got
a
you. I got your
connection.
back.
I don't know if it's the Wi-Fi, but I see the connection, and it's amazing. Like just doing it, and that's something I wanted to share with you, brother. Like another thing you could do too, like even this is pretty cool. So like when someone injures their hand, right, or breaks their wrist, a lot of doctors they recommend to actually grab a bag of rice and try to go in and put your
And then
hand
look
there.
there.
Yeah. You notice that, right?
That's actually this is all the stuff I do for my hand conditioning for
No
Powerslap.
way, no way.
Oh, everything. Yeah, like and then I instead of rice now I actually use like sand. So
Okay.
I'll actually do that same movements like you know
Yeah.
what I mean. You spread your hand and you just basically dig a hole as far down. Like I have a bucket in my garage and that's all I do. And then it's the same thing. I'll punch and slap the sand and
Yeah.
work it back down. And then I'll use my fingers to open it up and work my way back down. And then I'll pat it back down with my hand. And that's literally the hand conditioning I do just for my hands and my wrist. Because
Wow.
I've heard so many guys in the league, oh, I've hurt my wrist or I strained a tendon or something like that in their hands
Yeah.
from just slapping the bob like
Yeah.
the dummy, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I don't think these guys are doing anything for hand conditioning because like
Yeah.
that's pretty a big part of like I mean same thing if I was to do bare knuckle, I would be doing major hand conditioning because like you're going to have microfractures from hitting someone's skull, right? So
Yeah.
you need the hand like that density to the bone so that you don't just shatter your knuckles and stuff like that,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
like any true martial arts, you're taught like not to use your fist because
Yeah.
it's the weak like your knuckles are the weakest part, right? So it's
Yeah.
and that's why you're taught how to hit properly and convert that energy using what I mean the top knuckles rather than because I mean you'll throw those knuckles to the back of your hand real quick in a hurry if you
Oh
don't know
yeah.
what you're doing.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
So
So
no,
that's
it's
awesome.
yeah, brother. Thank you. And it's cool that you also you know what I'm talking about. And actually,
Oh yeah,
sand
I
is better.
I love the sorry. But yeah, I love the traditional martial arts. That's what like I started in Taekwondo, so it was very much like, and then I looked into like Chinese martial arts and all over the world because, and like like I'm not saying that like every technique I could apply to me, but definitely little things here and there across the globe. But like I'm like, oh, I kind of like that, and that makes sense. Then I'll incorporate it in my training plan, and it is like a lot of the more of the traditional martial arts I find are the best ones.
Oh yeah, and it's so old school. And here's another one too. I'm gonna share this one. You're gonna love this one. So what he we used to do too, after we did the iron body, right? Like we not only train our wrists, I'm sorry, our palms, our hand strike, but we train our shoulders right here, like by our clavicle, and
Okay.
he would go like this, boom, boom, like with our hands
Wait.
to our,
Oh, with
yeah,
me.
right here
Oh,
to your
okay.
shoulder. So that way, if someone were to do a pressure point on my shoulder, I won't feel it because it got so strong. And like we would do it like on the legs. Someone does a roundhouse on our legs or calves. So that way, someone kicks you, you don't feel like, oh, I gotta go down. Like you're stronger.
Yeah,
But
you're
one
used
thing
to it.
too, yeah, and one thing too that he showed me, you're gonna love this. I'm gonna share some knowledge. I'm gonna share some knowledge. But this one
Love
that
it.
is
Oh
really
yeah.
cool, where instead of doing a regular push up, if you do it with your wrist and you do it, boom, boom, that's also like strengthening your wrist, and then the finger push ups.
Finger,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah, yeah.
that's what I do. Yeah,
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 that's
because
how.
it strengthens your whole hand grip, and then the muscles all in here, like your thumb's like one of the weakest on all your fingers, right? So, and I notice a lot of guys are trying to like lead with that muscle, and they're going to end up breaking their thumbs. It's what I mean. So it's
Yeah,
like that's what I do to strengthen that thumb muscle. So it's like it's nice and solid. It's not like I mean,
yeah,
some guys have like a gushy kind of
yeah,
there, right? But yeah, those are all things I do like
bro.
like day to day and in and out of camp. Oh yeah.
That's so cool. And then the last one, you're gonna like this one. The last one is, when like in the baseball cages.
Okay.
So if you grab it and you climb fast all the way to the top and the bottom because you're using your hands, and you'll notice that your hands, your gripping is a lot stronger. So we would do that outside. We would boom, 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 and come
Almost
down.
like a Spider-Man
Yeah,
kind of thing.
almost really, yeah. And
Yeah.
it was
Okay.
really cool because we used to race with my friends and like my classmates. We would try to impress, and it was just so cool because when the way you do it, you gotta lift up your hand and your one of your legs, and you switch, but you gotta go quick, kind of like you said, Spider-Man. But you will
Yeah.
notice that you get faster, and then it helps too. Like if you're grappling, like doing jujitsu, it's good for
Control it.
takedown because your body's used to moving your hands. So it's a cool
Ooh.
thing. I wanted to share, share some
Yeah.
stuff, brother.
I actually have a baseball diamond. I might just go try that tonight later.
Yeah, yeah. Let me know, brother.
Like
Let me know.
honestly,
Like,
I
yeah,
haven't done that one yet, but that's awesome. Yeah, I'd give it a
yeah,
go
yeah. So
for
I want to
sure.
share, share some good stuff, brother. One
Oh, I
thing I
appreciate it.
wanted to, one thing I wanted to say, I'm really grateful, from you from the last time we talked. I gotta be something. I gotta give you a shout out. Is that I'm so happy that you got my book. That was a big thing. You don't know how happy I am just to hear that you got it, brother. Especially someone who I consider a brother, a friend, a family. That means a lot, brother. So I do have to give you your flowers.
Well, honestly, it's been a great read. I'm not all the way through it. I won't lie to you, but I just haven't had enough time, unfortunately. But it's been a great read. Like just before I go to sleep, like that story is phenomenal. I highly recommend anybody that's watching this to hopefully you can put a link or something in the description or somewhere that you can definitely go check it out because it's like I said, it's an incredible story. Phenomenal woman. Like, I can't wait to fully read it because it's just getting good. I'll say that. I don't want to do any spoilers or anything like that because it is worth the full read. So excuse me, but yeah, no, it's I'm really happy for you that you put that into into words and written out, and it is an incredible story, man. It really is.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. It means a lot, man. You don't understand. Like hearing from you, it already made my day. Like you don't understand. It's nice to hear other brothers, lift each other up, right? When even
Absolutely.
when things are not going the way we want, when life is going good, we still got to be there for each other and just rise. And I think that, God has a plan for you, brother. I already know it. I think there's big things happening. One thing I really want from you, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. So every Tuesday nights, when you come in Vegas, make sure Tuesday night, don't make no plans. You're going to be at David's. So on Tuesdays, if you've seen, I do my own little sessions. We call it the soul session. And it's nice because I have a bunch of my close friends that come over, and we basically, as men, we just chat and talk about life. And I've had Blackburn, Robert at the same time give a talk to my friends, like share their journey, their struggles, and how did they got to where they're at. Even Pono came to one of them too, and I'm very selective. And I will end Damian Debo before his fight. He actually came to my soul session, and he was like, "Bro, this is so cool that you guys do this because more men, we need this kind of like group therapy, or a place where men don't feel judged, where they can feel free." And he's like, this is so dope. um and I want you to be my next guest speaker when you're here in Vegas. It would be a big honor to have you speak, brother. And what I usually do, I record it so I post it the next day. So it's almost like a podcast, but I get to record it, show everyone's expressions, and you're gonna like it because it feels like, we got to give all the men credit, man. Like we've been through a lot. Same goes for our women out there, our moms,
Oh, for sure.
but
Yeah.
especially for our power staff fighters, I think that we need to give more positive look, positive energy, so I wanted to personally invite you, my brother. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, that would be an absolute pleasure. I can't thank you enough for the invitation. That sounds like a great experience, and I definitely have a powerful story that I'm sure is could definitely inspire a few people to push for whatever it is in life. I always say turn your passion into obsession, and then work. It's funny because I was working 3 jobs and all the rest of it to even get anywhere close to this point. So looking back, and it's funny because I always say, like, if you would have told me 10 years ago that I'd be slapping and 4-0 and all the rest of it, knocking 3 knockouts, and everything combined, that's all happened to me. It's like I would have told you you're absolutely nuts, like you're crazy. But here we are now, and I couldn't be more grateful for the experience. And I know that men, especially like masculinity, has kind of gone in a weird direction. And I feel like men need to open up more and talk, and because I feel like we're taught to lock it up inside and just sweep it underneath the rug and just leave it there, and then when we trip over it later, it's like, well, what's your problem, kind of thing. But it's I think we need to clean up the messes inside in order to be the best people that we can be, so that we can provide and protect and do all the things that men as masculinity, I feel is a gift from God. And I feel like that we should never tarnish that. We should embrace it, but use it in the right ways too. It can be going the opposite direction too, where it's a little too much, right? So finding that healthy balance. And more men, I feel like, just need to get the inner demons more out to the forefront, and leave the skeleton closets more exposed, and express ourselves more in the long term. Because it's easier said than done, but I feel like hopefully the direction will be a lot better in the upcoming years. Especially I have 2 boys, and I worry about them every day, because it's like I've seen the world go in so many different directions. And it's nerve-wracking as a parent, because you never know, right? Like where the world could go like there could be a war in 10 years, who knows, right? So you just never know. And I hope that if there is any men out there that don't have someone to talk to, that feel free, send me a DM. I'd be happy to answer you as quickly as possible. And I feel like no one should ever be alone. And yeah, it's just it's a shame if you are, but I find that the struggle, and especially even in my period of deep struggle and darkness, I call it, that was like the building stones, my foundation of where I needed to grow from. And now I'm just, layer by layer building that house and building that property and making that, making me as a human being solid through and through, where, and I've noticed it now, not even just in Powerslap, but in all aspects of my life, that I'm finding success and things. But I had to go through that growth period. I had to go through that, like basically getting shattered and having to put my pieces together and figuring it all out. So I mean, like everybody goes through it. I feel like just men don't have like what's the word I'm looking for, like an outlet, I guess you could say, to go to when things are tough, and they're like, is this normal? Because I remember being in that place where it's just like like there seemed like a lot of easier options I could have taken, and I'm glad I didn't take those options, and I stuck with, all right, we just got to grind it out, we just got to keep going, and eventually I'll, like, success will find me. And here we are. So I'm living proof of it, and it's like I said, if anybody's going through struggles, like, feel free, hit me up at any time. I'm usually pretty quick in replying, as quick as I can be anyways. I am a busy guy with kids and business and training and everything else in between, but I do my best.
No, that's amazing, bro. I appreciate that, and that's good. I feel like, more and more, I feel like when we let go of our anger, when we let go of our pain or our trauma, whatever it is, and we use it through, let's say, exercising, let's say, talking with a brother, a friend, or a mentor, it helps us to let go of that pain. But when we use it towards the easier outlet is when people use it towards the wrong reasons, like drugs, alcohol, you know, and that's bad because it's only numbing the pain temporarily,
Exactly.
but it'll come
Exactly.
back, right? It'll come back.
Yeah. And then as soon as you sober up, you're right back to square one. If anything, you went back. You didn't go forward. And I feel like that's a lot of people I find that are really negative. They're like, it's raining outside. It's like, well, rain. We need rain to grow the crops. You know what I mean? Like, it's the people that I find a rainy day a beautiful day. Those are the people that you need to surround yourself with. Find these positive people, because negative people will attract. I swear to God, we're like magnets. Like, if you have negativity around you, negative things are gonna happen. Positive people, positive things around you. Always having a positive mindset, positive things will happen to you. But it's like, everybody deals with negativity and create like doubt in their mind, and is this going to work? Is this business plan going to work? Am I going to get knocked out on international stage in front of millions of people? Like, these thoughts all creep into everybody's mind, whether you're an athlete or you're working a 9 to 5, or you're a nurse, or you're a fireman, whatever it may be. Like, like, people deal with fear every single day, but it's the people that can overcome it and fight through the adversity. You will find success, even if it's not right at the forefront. Like, you can't see it in the immediate future. Maybe you just got to take a right or left turn, and bang, it's right there, and you're like, holy smokes. Like, it was my destiny after all. This was what I was meant to do.
Right. Man, brother, that was deep. That was deep. Well, look, looks like Zoom is about to kick me out. So look, real quick, guys, this is the Outlet to Reality, the oldest podcast in Vegas and Chicago every Tuesday. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Cha-ching! Y'all know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, the Outlet to Reality. My Snapchat's Take One Pass It. My TikTok is at Yaakov28. And brother, where can my fans find you?
So it's vin.the.mercenary on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. If anybody's still on Twitter, I don't know if that's still a thing, but I'm on there. And then Vince Tracey on Facebook if you guys want to follow me there.